Hello, everybody out there in internet world, because that's the only people I'm reaching right now. My name is Maximilian Young. I go by Mad Max, also known as the Wild Thing King. I'm not going to do all the silly exposition. So, this is what this is. This is what this is. This is what this is. I am a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. And as you can tell here, I'm first of all playing a modded version, but what I am doing is a commentary series on a playthrough as well as the remake. Now, this right here, I tried to do something a bit before, but I was just talking too much and saying the same things over and over again like the dolt that I am. So I also happen to go through 2 checkpoints. So I'm going to keep it a little bit more condensed, and I'm going to try and just do it in little shorter bursts so it's a little bit easier to take in on the fly. Now, another thing that I want to get right out of the way is the fact that I'm picking this up a little bit into the beginning. I am not starting at the very, very beginning, and I'm also not going to be checking every piece out to, do a playthrough or, read the dialogue for you like some ridiculous, nonsensical channel I've seen before. I am doing this as basically a podcast where you can watch me play this at the same time. That's really all it comes down to. And what I'm trying to do is make my case for why I think the new game, the new remake, is going to be incredible. Because, quite frankly, this is a perfect example right here. That even with the pixelated polygon character, it looks like he's half as tall as the door. That's supposed to be a gigantic church. Have you ever seen Advent Children? That's a big church in there. So, it's just what they're going to be doing. I saw people online already complaining after the reveal came through, talking about how could they do it this way. I can't believe it. I wanted a remake, but not like this. And that just boggles my mind. How can you possibly be that stupid? The only thing that is passable to me is if you're young. If you're a kid and you really don't know. Because, granted, I know that younger people never want to cop to the idea of, older people, I'm sure you know. Because it really doesn't have anything to do with that. What it comes down to is if you weren't around when this first came out, you wouldn't understand why it's so incredible that they're remaking it in the first place. I remember reading an article from either one of the developers, the director, or somebody important to the process saying that it would take 10 years for this game to come out. 10 years to make it. And now they're talking about having, you've already seen the reveal, so that's how far along they already are in it. Who knows how far along they actually are in the game. And to that point, who knows what they're really going to do with it. With the reveal that you saw, you don't know how that gameplay is actually going to be used from controller to television. You really don't know how it's going to be done. And to see what you saw and complain from that is just nonsense. But to a much deeper degree, how could you ever complain? The fact that they're making this at all is a miracle of modern technology and ingenuity, or whatever it is. Money, financing, whatever made it happen. Fandom, it's happening. It's happening, and it's real. And look at that, just a little simple, sense materia, the first one that you find in the game. Now, who's to say that they're going to find a different, I'm sure they'll put it exactly the same way, and it'll just be, found exactly in the same place. And they're like, why would you want your game exactly the same as it was? Why? Why would you want that? Why wouldn't you want it to be updated? Why wouldn't you want things to be different? I just can't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. One way or the other, it's not terribly important. The important thing is that this is going to be just phenomenal. That is the important thing, that it's going to be a phenomenal experience no matter what it is they do with it. So the fact that people are worried it just boggles my mind now. My concerns have more to do with, what are they going to do with it over the long term? The battle arena, the submarine fights, the motorcycle, you know, that's going to be stuff that's, you know, pretty serious. And not to mention just that, it's going to be something that can be played online, probably can be played, you know, like to beat somebody's best score at the very least, in much of the way that Arkham is done, as well as maybe multiplayer. I don't know exactly how, but I mean, there's snowboarding, there's the battle arena, there's the submarines, there's the motorcycles. They may add other things. Maybe the high wind will have weapons. You know, maybe the tiny Bronco will fly around instead of just being, you know, stuck as a boat, basically. There's no way of knowing exactly what they're going to do. And, I mean, unless you're a part of it, in which case you can't tell anybody. But, you know, the other thing, do you think that these people are all going to be the same? Like this guy. Oh, I'll have to start over. I thought that there's the part where he says, oh, maybe I should start looking up. And then when he comes back and he sees the meteor, he's like, oh, the looking down isn't good, looking up isn't good, I'm just going to look straight forward. You think they're going to keep that stuff that same way? Do you think that this item right here is eventually still going to have Tina's Final Heaven? Or I think Final Heaven is the weapon. Is this cat still going to be here? This guy? Like, why would you want it exactly the way that it is? That it already is. Because first of all, let me tell you something. I don't know if you can see my guy right here, but he is higher resolution than Cloud normally would be. That's not usually what they look like. But I got him looking that way. How did I do it? A mod that any person can download. Any person at all. Look at it, we gotta go buy batteries from the guy. And not to, you know, I actually had this thought the other day, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast in the first place, because I started thinking about it as a real topic. But, you know, this is the next part that I'm going to do, and then after this part is finished, we're going to close it down. But this part right here, it really is not only an important part to the story, but think about the way that it looks right now. Very simple, even with the mods, you know, the background isn't changed. You know, very crude. Think about what this is going to look like when it is updated. But even beyond that, think about the experience of climbing this wire to the Shinra Tower with an updated experience. This is going to be intense. Just this alone, when you really think about it, is a very emotional moment for these three, because they're, you know, climbing from the slums up to the corporate headquarters of the ones who just killed thousands of innocent people, either hundreds or thousands, probably thousands, and then blamed it on people that are blowing up reactors trying to save the planet. Not people doing any damage to anybody, any real people, you figure. Or, you know, actually I take it back, because that is kind of a part of the story where Jesse's like, oh, you know, people died when we blew up the bombs, this is our punishment, this and that. But, I mean, what I'm saying is that it's going to be, you know, just so much more intense when you can look at all of this for real. Think about how they're going to approach this from a gameplay point of view. It's not just going to be simple climb up, find the next part where you can jump onto, or climb onto, or attach to and press the button. It's going to require timing. This part right here might be totally different with the propeller turning around, and it might go, you know, maybe it'll actually carry you up and then drop you off somewhere else. Who knows? But the point is that it's going to be so much different, and it's going to be so much more intense emotionally, especially for the people that have strong ties to this game mentally, that played it when they were young, continued to play it as they got older. Like, this game to me is like a good book. A good book that I've read many times before, where I already essentially know what's going to happen. I know, you know, the story. I know the ins and outs of it. And there's even, you know, secret stuff that you can do in this game where, you know, it you know, adds to the experience. Yuffie is a character that not everybody gets to play. There were people, I'm sure, back when this game first came out, that never played. They played the game all the way through without Yuffie. Why? Because they didn't know. They didn't have friends, and they didn't buy the strategy guide. You know what I mean? The internet wasn't quite as popular back then. It wasn't something where you really found cheat codes quite so much. I mean, you did, because it was nerds on the internet back then, way more hardcore than now. But, you know, it was a different climate. People didn't look at it the same way. You couldn't just click on your computer and, oh, there's the internet right there. It was like a whole different thing. But one way or the other. That's why I say to people, you know, be patient. If you have anything to say about the Final Fantasy VII Remake, because the real truth is that you don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. You have no real idea. I bet this segment, when the actual game, the remake, is done, I bet it is going to be glorious. Okay, so I'm stuck here. And see, that's another thing. I can't wait to be playing a game where, oh, maybe I just can't go this way. I can't wait to be playing a game where I don't have to worry about glitching out on simple stuff, which, let's be honest, this game was notorious for. See, that was the problem. I forgot you gotta go that way. But let's be honest, you know, this game, there were a lot of different glitches. I remember there was a really well-known glitch where in the third disc, you could use regen to heal yourself completely every time by opening the CD case. Or not the CD case, what am I talking about? By opening the disc tray, because the PS1 had it like that. You could pop it open that way. It wasn't just slide the disc in the way everything is now. And, you know, not to mention the different things that PC modders are going to be able to do if they ever release this remaster on PC, or not the remaster, the remake. That'll be something serious. One of the main things that I really wanted to get across is that it blows my mind that anybody could be talking down on the remake. Like, really, look at this part. This part is going to be intense when the remaster happens. Remake. Why do I keep messing that up? Think about it. It's not just going to be a pan down. They're going to go all the way around the building. It's going to be crazy. And yet people are looking at it like, oh yeah, it needs to be. Like, look at this. With the remade, remastered, modified characters, it still looks pretty good and it looks different. You need a refreshed experience, do it that way. Stop bagging on the remake because you want it a certain way when it's not going to happen that way. Like, really, I'm so tired of people whining and complaining on the internet. Now, let's be honest, it's never going to stop. But there is one thing I want you to keep in mind. The fact that people are complaining about this remake means one thing and one thing only that I want you to remember. And what that is that no matter what it is that comes out, no matter what idea, movie, concept, book, TV show, video game, anything, no matter what comes out, there's going to be people that like it, but there's going to be not only people that don't like it, but people that are going to tell you that you're wrong for liking it. Because that's just the way that some people are, for no other reason than that. There's no logic to it, there's no understanding it, it just is that way. So, I just want you to keep that in mind. And yeah, I'm also going to be saving here. I do have the Save Anywhere mod because I have kids and I have to be able to stop whenever I need, but beyond that, I just don't really have many modifications. I just modified graphics and music. There wasn't really any gameplay changes that I needed. I prefer it the way that it is. I think that some of the items might have different names or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that everything is otherwise essentially the way that it was to begin with. So, again, my name is Mad Max, Maximilian, aka the Wild Thing King, and I'm going to be doing this for a good long time, because for a good long time they're going to be bringing out news about the remake, different things are going to be happening. And I'm also just going to use this as maybe a way to disseminate other information to you about other things that I'm thinking about. So, until next time, much love, Mad Max, signing off. Take care.